Hello everyone, we are back with more Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
In the name of Her Majesty the Court, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here to conduct the fair and just trial of the defendant, Barrick von Zeix. Counsels for the defense and prosecution, are you ready to begin?
Oh man, this is gonna be a trial. To end all trials. Except it's not actually the last trial, I don't think. The defense is ready, my lord. The prosecution is more than ready. Oh, Kazuma-sama. As you can see, I put both of the, not only Susato, but also Ryunosuke, I put back in their default outfits. I've been wishing to see you in court again for so long, it feels. But I never pictured it happening like this. I never thought I'd be facing you behind the prosecutor's bench.
The so-called Reaper of the Bailey has been a scourge like no other, undermining Her Majesty's justice system. Today we must uncover the truth behind this scourge.
In other words, this trial is going to be a lot more far-reaching than Inspector Gregson's murder.
The truths revealed by these proceedings may have unpredictable repercussions through the judiciary. Accordingly, they are to be conducted as a closed trial with no members of the public present, by Her Majesty's direct orders.
How will that work, my lord?
The burden of all arbitration and adjudication falls on my shoulders. Therefore, as you will see, the juror's bench shall remain vacant today.
So it's just like regular Ace Attorney games. We're not going to get any summation examinations. If no members of the public are present, might I ask who is currently occupying the gallery, my lord?
They are members of the judiciary, here to witness proceedings and ensure an equitable trial.
Members of the judiciary. Oh my, this is a very unusual trial already.
There is of course another unprecedented aspect to these proceedings on which I must elaborate. The counsels for the prosecution and the defense are both aliens of Great Britain.
This is true. I believe it takes an outsider to see the truth sometimes. And as I stand here in this courtroom now, I'm quite certain. This is the reason why I had to come to Britain. Kazuma?
Very well, let us commence proceedings. Prosecutor Asogi, your opening statement, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. Wow. Damn, he's even got a longer one than Von Zeix. Wait. That sounded kind of wrong. Wait, I didn't mean it. The incident took place on November 1st, at just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The location was a building of flats on Fresno Street on the outskirts of the city. The victim's body was discovered there in an old single-room rental property.
Yes, Inspector Tobias Gregson, a name known very well indeed to this court. Not least for his miraculous resolution of one of this country's grimmest cases 10 years ago.
The Professor case. How sure are you about the time of the incident? Several witnesses on the street outside heard the gunshots, and all have reported the same thing, at the same time. That's what Gina told us too. There were a number of witnesses. I have here a plan of the room. The victim was found up curled in one corner. Oh. I messed up. It's believed that he was shot from the front at point-blank range and died instantly.
How has the range been determined?
There were scorch marks around the entry wound. Such marks are caused by the gunpowder used to fire the bullet. But powder hot enough to leave scorch marks is only injected a few inches beyond the end of the barrel. In other words, if it only happened when the happens when the target is at point-blank range.
I see, yes. Thank you for the detailed explanation, Counsel.
Alright. I'm gonna look into the details. Actually, let's wait. The murder weapon was found lying beside the victim.
And have you managed to ascertain the owner of this firearm?
No, my lord. Not conclusively.
Bravo, Kazuma-sama. For not trying to use the gun as evidence when its provenance can't be proven. Is that provenance?
I don't know. Furthermore, my lord, as I've explained, the revolver is fired at extremely close range. The bullet passed through the victim and struck the wall behind him. There is a candelabrum mounted on the wall, and the tip of one of the candles in it was found to have been blown off by the projectile.
We noticed that too, didn't we?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you for the thorough report, Counsel. The setting of the crime is clear to me. If you will submit the plan of the crime scene as evidence, please.
As you wish, my lord.
Okay.
Is this Fresno Street room Inspector Gregson's private abode?
No, my lord. The room is rented out by a Hugh Boone. But there is precious little furniture inside, and it is generally in a poor state of repair. So what on earth was Gregson even doing there?
Presumably he was investigating some case or other.
When a policeman was informed of the gunshot from the witnesses and rushed to the scene, he found only the deceased inspector and the accused standing alongside holding the revolver. The attending officer arrested the accused on the spot.
So, the details of the case are clear.
In that case, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Chotomate, hold it up. Let me just examine the two things we got. Tobias Gregson, age 45, nationality British, time of death. Oh. The coroner is Maria Gorey. Wow, that's not on the nose at all. Victim was shot in the chest at close range on the front, resulting in instant death. Scorch marks at point of entry. The bullet exited the body from behind. The caliber of the gun used matches that of a standard issue firearms from members of the judiciary. Huh. Man, it's really gonna sink in whenever we see a crime scene photo of Gregson. Here's the window. This is the entrance. I wonder if there's anything behind that bulletin board. That seems like it could be a likely thing. I guess we're about ready.
A name, please, Counsel.
Naturally, the accused himself.
Lord Von Zykes?
As a prosecutor, he believes in the oath of office he's taken and will be compelled to tell the truth.
Very well, let the defendant take the witness stand.
Okay. Oh man. And his theme just plays instantly. So, witness, state your name and occupation for the court. Barak von Zykes, Old Bailey prosecutor.
I presume, Lord Von Zykes, that you heard Prosecutor Asogi's opening precis.
I did.
It is alleged that you were found at the scene of the crime.
Sorry, Cat was making a ruckus. Still kind of is.
And that you were arrested by the arriving police officer. Can you confirm this?
Yes, my lord. Then I'm sure the court would like to hear your explanation you explained some things away. Namely, why you were there in the room on Fresno Street at the time in question. And what exactly took place. I intend to explain away nothing. I will simply tell the truth.
I must say, Lord Von Zykes, I never imagined this day would come. Or rather, I didn't want to imagine it would come, but since you became known as the Reaper, part of me has been dreading it.
Are we done here?
Your formal testimony then, witness.
Here we go. Starting off this trial with a Bane. A Barrack von Bane.
I was investigating Gregson, and my inquiries had led me to that address. When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside, and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me.
So it took the light from outside in order for him to actually see the corpse. That testimony was the whole truth.
It was.
So, you heard a shot being fired in a room with no living occupants. And moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes. Is that it? You're right. You haven't explained away anything. In fact, that would barely qualify as an excuse.
I thought you were my mute apprentice.
Oh shit.
Yet it turns out you have a way with words, Prosecutor Asogi. Would appear to be a singular tale indeed.
Singular isn't the word, it's laughable. What's gotten into Kazuma? He's not behaving like himself at all. I don't think he has ever since he regained his memories, to be honest. Then again, that's probably related to the professor. I mean, he literally regained his memories by seeing a waxwork of his serial killer father.
Very well then. Counsel, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. Here we go. Damn. Seeing the cross-examination screen where it has, like, it shows the eyes of both the defense and the prosecution, and seeing it being Asogi, man, that hits.
Hold it!
Alright. You were investigating the inspector. What on earth for?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Sorry?
I'd identified a distinct possibility that Gregson was involved in a case I was investigating. Regrettably, though, he was killed before I could secure the proof I needed. Is the court to understand, then, that on the day in question you followed the victim to the scene? No, I was privy to his movements in advance.
How?
I stole into his office in the yard and consulted his diary. The address on Fresno Street was noted in the 5 p.m. entry.
You illegally entered the man's office. In Japan, that alone would constitute a very serious offense.
As it does in Great Britain, I assure you. Is that not the case, Lord Von Zykes? I was aware of the possible consequences.
So, in summary, you were investigating the victim. And yet, you refused to tell the court why. I didn't realize British prosecutors enjoyed such freedom to choose what to divulge under oath. Ugh. Why did I ever think I could defend this man? Good question.
Hold it!
And he certainly does give off the vibe of someone who could commit murder. Had you ever been to the address before?
No, never. I only learnt of the place as a result of my investigations into Gregson's activities. There was no light inside when I entered, so it was all but impossible to make out anything.
But at 5 p.m. the sun would have only just gone down. It would still have been reasonably light outside.
The room has a window, but it was boarded shut. Very little light found its way into the room from outside, so it was extremely murky in there. I wouldn't have noticed if the victim was already lying on the floor. There is no artificial light in the room, you say? You're quite sure? I'm quite sure that the part of the room where the body was found was very dark. I have a feeling that there was a small oil lamp burning on the desk, though I couldn't say for certain.
Look, Mr. Naruhodo. There is a small desk in the room just here.
Yes, I remember. And there was an oil lamp on it, as well as the framed photograph.
When I entered the room, I closed the door behind me and started towards the desk to investigate.
And what did you find?
Nothing. I never actually reached the desk.
Heard the gunshot. Hold it! So he heard the gunshot while he was in there. So, who fired the gun?
I have no idea. I didn't see anybody else in the room.
But you say it was very dark in there.
Yes, that's right. All I can tell you is I didn't sense another's presence.
Aha, then could it be that the gunshot actually originated from somewhere outside the room?
No, that's out of the question.
Oh.
Without doubt, the sound emanated from inside the room. I could smell the gunpowder.
This is going from bad to worse.
And you say that's the point at which you noticed the revolver on the floor? Correct. And I foolishly picked it up. That was carelessness on my part. Presumably then, the gunshot you heard came from the firearm that you somewhat hastily took in your hands. In point of fact, my lord, I believe it did not.
What?
The barrel of the revolver I picked up was cold, and there was no smell of spent powder.
The pathetic slap. But then, where on earth is the gun that was fired?
Whilst I would like to oblige you with an answer, I cannot. I'm afraid I can't. I, too, would dearly like to know that.
Get the firearm out to examine it. A man, you say? One of the witnesses, I presume.
That's right. One of the street merchants working on Fresno Street. Who are these merchants? A number of them had set up their stalls directly beneath the boarded window of the crime scene. A match seller, a newsmonger, and a peddler. They've all been given statements saying They've all given statements saying that they heard the gunshot. And without thought of danger, they ran inside to see what had happened.
Yes, Gina told us about that yesterday, didn't she?
They burst through the door with some force, it would seem. They did, and it almost gave me a heart attack in the process.
But you're supposed to be the Reaper.
Listen,
who knows? The Reapers can have heart problems too, you never know.
The first man to come in immediately noticed the revolver in my hand and fled. A policeman patrolling on Fresno Street heard the commotion, and was able to arrest the accused shortly after the incident occurred. Anyway, the man's scream drew my attention in that direction.
Alright. What do you mean by that? And what way did the body appear?
I honestly can't explain it, but it's the truth. As far as I was concerned, the body hadn't been there until that point, and then suddenly, there it was.
Did you perhaps hear the sound of the victim falling to the ground just beforehand?
At that moment, what I heard was the sound of the door flying open and the scream of the man who came inside first, nothing more.
What if the sound of the door flying open overlapped with the sound of Gregson hitting the floor? I see. Naruhodo.
After the man fled, I examined the body. I was stunned to find that it was Gregson. Most curious circumstances indeed. How the inspector was killed, or how his body seemed to appear out of nowhere, I have no idea.
Objection!
Oh?
Surely the court has heard enough. Objection. My lord, the cross-examination has clearly revealed that the accused, Beric von Zykes, is lying on multiple fronts.
What is this music? Oh my god, is this like... Is this a Sogi's theme? I think this is a Sogi's theme, but it's like, you know, English. Wow, this is very unique. I wasn't expecting to hear this. Yeah, it is. Wow. What is that supposed to mean?
Good gracious, Counsel.
Yep. You can hear it right here. Doon doo doon doon. Doon doo doo doon doon doo doo doon doo.
The defendant is lying, you say?
In his testimony just now, he claims that he failed to notice the victim's body before the room was dark, because the room was dark.
That is correct.
No, that's impossible. As proven by this candelabrum. How does that prove anything? If you examine the tip of the lawn candle, you can see it has been blown off by a powerful impact.
One would assume that the projectile from the firearm passed through the victim and struck the candle.
The problem comes when you consider the other two candles, which are clearly of a different length.
Yes, I can see that only the candle that appears to have been struck by the bullet is long.
We could reasonably expect someone to have lit all three candles together. Which begs the question of why only one has ended up longer than the others. That must be because this particular candle was extinguished when the others were still burning. That's right. When the candle was hit by the bullet, it obviously went out. But the other two candles would still have been burning. So the fact is, the victim's body would have been illuminated by the light still thrown by the candelabrum. And the accused claim that he couldn't see the body clearly contradicts those facts. Ugh. And now to the next lie. There's more? But wait, there's more! The accused also claims never to have visited the scene of the crime before.
That's the truth.
In that almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. A board covered from top to bottom in police documents and newspaper cuttings. Yes, that's right. We saw it too. It goes without saying that the contents of the police documents cannot be divulged, however. They included a number of reports from various historical cases, the oldest of which was from 10 years ago. 10 years ago? This is starting to sound familiar. And there is a common thread linking all of the documents on that board.
Indeed. What is this common thread, Counsel?
They all relate to cases prosecuted in court by Beric von Zykes. Wow, look at that face. That is extreme levels of smug on display. All of them? And furthermore, all those cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted.
Good lord!
Interestingly, none of the defendants are alive today.
because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper.
Ah. Oh no.
In short, that dingy little room is the Reaper's secret hideout in his base of operations.
The Reaper's hideout?
And yet the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout. No one would believe that. No, the truth is, we've been looking at this backwards.
Backwards? Explain, Counsel.
Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand.
What?
Order! Very well, I hereby state the current opinion of the court. Eric von Zykes is an outstanding prosecutor who has rendered great service to his country. However, it is with deep regret that I must concur with Prosecutor Sogi's contention that the defendant's testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistencies with the known facts.
All I have done is state the truth as I know it.
Kazuma's done a brilliant job as ever. He's drawing on his experience as a defense attorney to build his prosecution case, and it's formidable.
Counsel, you will submit the board that you just showed the court as evidence. I believe it to be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounding the Reaper's existence.
Thank you, my lord.
Alright, we're instantly going to check that out.
And now the prosecution would like to call new witnesses to the stand.
Not quite yet. Oh. And, of course, always flip something backwards when you have the chance. Oh, what's this? Mr. Naruto, look! Oh yes, it's a smudge of some kind. In fact, it looks just like a handprint. And the color. That's blood, isn't it? Oh dear, how disturbing. There's a bloody handprint on the back side. Let's read the front, see what we can find here. There are details of a whole raft of cases dating back years on here, aren't there?
This paper from 10 years ago is browning with age, look.
Out of interest, the most recent thing appears to be this newspaper cutting here.
Oh, it's the same Red-Headed League advertisement that Mr. Shrubs had picked out.
And do you remember? There was a red hairpiece at the scene, too.
Was Inspector Gregson an exponent of the Red-Headed League, then? Huh. Witnesses who saw events unfold on the day in question.
They were mentioned in the previous testimony too, if you remember.
Yes, the street sellers who heard the gunshot and went running into the room.
Very well, lead the witnesses in. The defendant may step down from the witness stand.
Forward bow. Certainly, my lord. It's okay, we'll get you off the hook yet. Oh my gosh.
Wait! You? That is a person I did not expect to see come back.
So, witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. I didn't think we'd be seeing Beppo again. God, look at this man's freaking lip.
Names? We don't use names. Far too fancy for the likes of us.
We're just free and easy. Sell what we like, live where we want to live. I give them all a vacant stairs. They will walk down first note, spin a few words into a verse form.
Oh. Would I be... what the hell's this voice? Oh, would I be right in assuming that all three of you make your living by selling wares on the street? Everyone calls me gossip. I sell jaunty little tidbits to passers-by, you know.
I'm trying to make like a similar shape with my mouth. It's not easy. Jaunty little tidbits? Got an absolute smasher for you, sir. Right up your giddle, it is. 6 pence is the price, and not a penny less.
Oh, wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now?
Oh, come on, sir. Don't tell me you're not interested.
Try the man. Give him the money and see what it is.
Pay the man, counsel.
Alright, 6 pence it is.
You won't regret it, sir. Now, get your listening ears on. Just between us, a young couple on Slide Street have just had twins.
I see you use that money well. Man's just like, I was gonna use that cash. Is that it?
No, that's not it. It's gossip, isn't it? It wants to spread. But that bit's up to you and your mouth, of course. I've got more, you know, and another to chew on. 6 pence a piece it is if you're curious.
I am curious, yes, about what's going on just under that fat bottom lip of yours. Namely that unusual bruise on whatever it is that's poking out from under your collar. Oh wow, yeah, he looks like he's been strangled or some shit. What about the next witness, then? What name do you go by and what do you sell? Me, I'm Venus. I'm Venice. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, innit? Whoa. I'll sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local school kids. Damn, she just struck that on her butt. Sizzling. 6 pence pop, what do you say? Ba-da-ba-dum. We're exaggerating with little. Do they actually sell? Oh yeah, the second years can't get enough of my Venice firecrackers. Especially when I tell them that if they get 100, they could blow up the school.
Not the most savory of ideas, young lady.
What do you say then, eh? Want to part with 6 pence for a pop? Wait, what? You want me to buy one? Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you could blow up the whole courtroom.
Try the woman.
Give her the money and see if she's right.
Pay the woman, counsel.
Are they trying to just out me as a terrorist or something right now? Alright, I'll buy one. Lovely stuff, right then. This is something a bit extra just for you. The Venus Special, only 600 pence. 600? It's 100 in my regular fireworks, and nothing little about that, is there? And there'd be nothing little about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey either. Yeah, it's okay. It's not the first time that I've seen a blown up courtroom. Oh wow, it's actually, oh shit. Oh my god. I can already see where this is going. Let me guess, the gunshot that Von Zykes heard was actually this. And the last witness, what name do you go by and what do you sell? I'm a thinker, me. Think all sorts of things, I think. Therefore I am, therefore I think. Because I stand there on the sweet street, watching the world go on by. They call me the observator.
Get out of it, old man. Everyone calls you Sandwich and you know it.
So, you don't actually sell anything?
Problem shared is a problem halved, as they say. I give advice, I do, and think what it means. I don't actually sell anything, though, come to think of it.
Pity. No more purchases today, please.
Well, we have quite a cast here, it seems.
I like how we didn't even say his name. They conduct their business on Fresno Street from morning until night, my lord. And always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene.
I see, and thus they heard the gunshot, I suppose.
Not only that, but they very bravely ran inside to see what was going on and witness the crime.
Well, I'll be begging, I thought, just between us.
Venos de Miller, what am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw.
What I think is, if all we see is light and shadow, playing with their eyes, is any of it real?
Very well. The court will hear the formal testimony of these 3 witnesses now. You will describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident.
We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did. From the moment they went into the building.
It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang.
Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait to go and see what happened. I went into the room and there he was, the Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body.
I was scared half to death, me, so I ran out to find a copper.
I don't know why I'm giving her like a westernish British voice. I don't know. I just feel like it. If these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? Only the victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Barrick von Zykes.
I've seen pictures that I read from the paper. I know what he looks like. But just between us, folklore love stories like this, I made myself a tidy sum already.
But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied.
Of course they are. They're small, damn dirty, and expensive to move.
The room in which the inspector was found in is the only property in the building that's currently leased.
And we know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Hugh Boone.
Testimony in the court as just heard would appear to have little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the defendant could have committed the crime. No. Thank you for your candor, my lord. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to cross-examine the witness. Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony somehow. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get second chances through summation examinations.
Hold it!
When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Grayson and the defendant, Lord Von Zykes?
I suppose I do. The likes of us don't know the names of the high and mighty. But I'll tell you one thing. It was the old Reaper that went in last, that's for sure and certain.
Just behind Inspector Gregson. Did they arrive at the same time as each other?
No, not at all. The first fellow must have gone inside a good 15 minutes before we heard the gunshot.
The victim arrived 15 minutes before? Are you sure about that?
Am I sure? Doesn't seem like I'd have forgotten a fellow with bright red hair like that, does it?
Yeah. His hair was really were red, wasn't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks, even.
There, that fiery red mop's still burnt on the inside of my eyelids, it is.
Wait a minute, you say the man was a redhead?
What you listening, chum? Ah, he was a redhead, and he had a big trunk with him as well.
But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Seems likely that the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party. No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct. What? Oh god.
Just have a look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene. Oh, man. Yes, that's Inspector Gregson, alright. He's actually fucking dead. This is the first time we've actually seen him. And a red hairpiece. It doesn't look to be on him properly, though. Ah. Of course. We saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we? I still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a hairpiece, though. So why on earth would he have been wearing something like that? Well, they said that the redhead in question had an extremely large trunk, and we didn't find anything of the sort in there. The color does seem to suit the man, one might say. The photograph will be submitted as evidence, please, counsel. Okay. And what became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying? I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene. Big shocker. So it just disappeared. What, do you expect us to have been watching the building every second, do you? We definitely saw him in the dock going in, though. No question about that. Huh. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all let a big bang.
Hold it!
By which presumably do you mean the gunshot?
I sell these little things, don't I? How would I know what a gunshot sounds like? But I've always thought it probably sounds a bit like this, doesn't it?
And you say that you heard the noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant here enter the building.
That's right, it was almost straight away. Bang, it went, just like that.
Oh, the Reaper. Well, he's the Reaper, and he is what the French call a fait accompli. When the Reaper's around, people are going in the ground. I mean, that's what he does, isn't it?
I think we get the message. The Reaper couldn't allow the inspector to live after he had discovered his secret hideout. There could be no clearer motive for the crime. Just because it's the clearest doesn't mean it's actually the truth. Sometimes the truth can be in the murkiest of waters. Yes. It's certainly an eminently credible motive. Great. And at that point you ran inside, is that correct?
Hold it!
So, when Gossip ran to see what had happened, did you go too?
Oh, well, me, I'm a bit hampered, see, all the signs said that I can't move really well.
You were way behind, presumably, with that sandwich you brought around your neck and that big sign in your hand. What a great burden you bear. Pardon me for asking, Mr. Sandwich, but is it possible you and I have met before?
I'm not anybody, me. These signs who will make me who I am now. I signed, therefore I am.
So, you weren't employed as an omnibus driver just under a year ago, then?
I might be mistaken, but I believe his trembling is intensified, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, I agree. He's clearly been through a lot.
Turn down King Henry Street and the Black Widower's Arms is just there.
Oh dear, you've made him hide behind a sign.
Life is full of surprises.
Hold it!
Huh. So then you were the first person to arrive on the scene, is that right?
That I was. Kicked down the door open like a professional I did. And yo, now what's going off here?
Lord Von Zykes claims all he heard was a man's scream, though.
And was it dark inside the room?
No, not dark at all. There are candles burning on the wall.
Really?
There was a fellow collapsed on the floor. Just between us, it's the first thing I noticed when I got inside.
Ah, I see.
even though Lord Von Zykes claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall.
The next thing I noticed was someone standing right beside the body.
The accused, Beric Von Zykes.
That's right, the pale-faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked, I want to know it, but I know the delivered code.
Man, this voice is getting harder and harder to do.
I stood my ground and gave that Reaper a cold, hard stare myself.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich?
It's really nothing to me. Empty in the head I am, just 2 slices with no middle. So I don't know what you could want with me.
I think that maybe you just remembered something. Having heard Mr. Gossip's latest remark, I mean.
What I think is, well, nothing really. We try to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers. That's enough out of you, Sandwich. Keep your trap mouth shut. Unless you want us to make you into a real sandwich. Oh, when he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside.
That's it.
Oh, you're right, Becker. I told you to keep that a secret. He screamed, he did. Screamed and rambled off on all fours. That's what I wanted to say.
Mr. Gossip, is this true?
The floor was dead slippery, that's why. Planted my feet in a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck.
What? A pool of blood?
But listen here, even when I was sprawled on the floor, I still kept giving the Reaper a cold, hard stare, and don't you forget it.
Let's go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hand?
I did, It should have asked us at times, doesn't it? So I was scared, so I slipped over. We can keep it just between us, can't we?
No, Mr. Gossip. I'm gonna have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony.
Oh, if I must.
The witness will amend his testimony to include the aforementioned details at once.
Yeah, you better go quiet. Huh.
Objection.
Nope, wasn't this. Oh, shoot. There's something here. There is something here, I just don't know as to what. No idea quite yet. Is it just the simple thing of this?
Objection.
Oh, it is. So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room. Are you quite sure about that?
Well, what else do you expect me to have done, eh? Does it really matter?
Objection.
The police found no such handprints on the floor during their investigations. What exactly is the defense asserting? If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Asogi. Oh shit. Your friends going at it. Why can't we be friends? Certainly, there was no bloody handprint found. On the floor. What are you trying to say? There was a handprint and blood left very clearly at the scene. On the back of this notice board.
Oh, yes, indeed. Indisputably a handprint in the distinctive color of blood.
You're dead right. That's my right hand. I know it anywhere.
Damn.
Objection.
A what? The witness very definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant.
Objection.
Not if the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there. Just look at the floor plan of the room. The notice board was in the opposite corner of the room to the victim, and in an upright position. Even if it had somehow been toppled and was laying on the floor at the time, it would have been a considerable distance from the body.
I fell over when I came across the body, so I was basically right next to the corpse, not on the other side of the room.
In other words, the defense's assertion is contradictory.
Yes, it is.
There's a very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason.
I take it that you formulated a proper hypothesis, Counsel. Regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's account and the handprints found at the scene.
I have, my lord. And we will find out what that answer is next time on Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Adios, ciao, and bye-bye. Signing off until next time. Ja, matane.